7 o'clock p.m. Time to give shout out. It's 7:05 p.m.
Hello! West Alameda! It's after 7 o'clock. It's time to give a shout out. Thank you to all the frontline, the essential workers, to the doctors, the nurses, the longshoremen, the bus drivers, the truck drivers, the farm workers, those who work in the stores, those who work in the hospitals, postal employees, counselors, teachers, parents. So please, you hear my voice? Would you honk your horns, clap your hands, shout, make some noise! Frontline workers! Yeah! All right, thank you! We appreciate you!
What's up? What's up? Hey, what's going on, Facebook? So, yep, it's a good day. This is a good day. Go over here and do this. Trying to learn how to not say so much, but it's hard. Trying to learn not to grunt so much, and that's hard. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Today is day 390. It's the 390th day since April the 1st, 2020, when I first started doing this shout out. And today is April the 25th, 2021. And as of 6 o'clock p.m., according to the Coronavirus Pandemic Live on YouTube, 3,124,573 have passed away, have died from coronavirus. Here in the United States, it was 586,152. And right here in the state of California, the last count was 61,399. So, yeah. Now, I want you to look up there, April 6, 2020. You see the difference right there. 2020, 2021, April. That's the difference in the world. Okay, now I want to show you this one. That's April 6, 2021. So the red is from 2020. The black is from today's count. And this green right here is from April 6, 2021. So you see the difference of what's going on. And then if you look over here, again, the red is for April 2020. The black is for today, April 25th, 2021, 586,152. And then for April 6, 2021, it's 570,247. And then here in the state of California, today's was 61,399. And again, April 6, 2021, 59,769. So let me see if I can fix this.
After 7 o'clock p.m. time to give shout out, it's 7:10 p.m.
Okay, so those of you don't know, I do that so I keep tabs on how long I'm talking. Anyway, ask all of you, as always, to say prayers and keep in your thoughts all those who have died from coronavirus, all those who have tested positive for COVID-19, people who've had to go to the hospital for surgery, for operations, for whatever things, whether it's mental, emotional, physical illness, or whatever. So keep them people in your prayers. Hey, Geronimo, what's going on, son? How you doing? I never did find out what happened to my grandson's 7-on-7 out there in Mesquite. Okay, so holler at me, let me know what happened. How did it go? All right. So, yeah, thank you to the frontline workers. Now, what I do want to do, I'm going to start off with birthday greetings. And again, I apologize for those of you who are my Facebook friends, or, and if I don't have your name up here, it's because I didn't do the research. But I'd like to say happy birthday to all the Taurus, the birthday people who were born today on April the 25th. Happy birthday, y'all. Happy birthday to those of you who I know, those of you who I don't know. Yeah, so, happy birthday to all those Taurus people. And want to give prayers and thoughts for MMIW, missing, murdered indigenous women in the United States and in Canada. So, I get all my stuff off of YouTube. And I didn't even realize or know this. I was doing something else and found this group is called Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. And this says women and girls in Southwest cities. But this is just in the Southwest. But all over the United States and in Alaska and Canada, they've had, anywhere up to 25,000 missing indigenous women and girls. Okay? And one of the things they were talking about was the fact that they don't get publicity and they don't get a lot of, feedback or get anything going on, because things that happen on the reservation, they're not investigated by the feds or state. They're investigated by, reservation police. But 71% of indigenous people evidently live in cities, and there are a lot of women who are disappearing from cities too. Now, I want you to understand that this here was posted in 2018. So between 2018 of November and 2021 of April 25th, there's a lot more. Okay? There's a lot more. So I want to read some of this is what's up here. Okay? Recorded 6 cases in Flagstaff, Arizona, including Nicole Joe, who was beaten by her partner and left outside of Nicole and died on Christmas Day, 2017. Phoenix and Tempe, Arizona. 14 cases in Phoenix, 3 in Tempe, and 4 in Tucson, including Jade Velasquez, who was killed by a serial killer in 2003, and a 15-year-old Jane Doe was found in 2002. Gallup, New Mexico, recorded 25 cases, including high school student Colleen Lincoln, who was beaten to death and burned 2 days before Christmas. And Farmington, I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know where Farmington is. I don't know what state that's in. I don't know what state that's in, but Farmington, including Vanessa Tesori, whose only photo circulated was the shoes she was wearing at the time of her death. In Santa Fe, 6 cases, including Navajo woman Melissa Tesori, who was killed in a homeless encampment in 2015. In Albuquerque, recorded 37 cases, including Terry Benally, Kelly Watson, Ryan Hosky, 3 Navajo trans women killed between 2004 and 2009, and no photos of them were published. Now, again, this is kind of old, but there's a lot more. And one of the things they were talking about was the reason that a lot of it doesn't get put on statistics is because some of the indigenous women are classified as either being white, classified as being Latina, and in some cases even being classified as being black. So there's a whole lot. There's a lot. In Canada, the same situation. So I'm asking all of you to keep in your prayers and in your thoughts the MMIW, Missing Murdered Indigenous Women in the USA and in Canada. Please keep them in your prayers and thoughts. And go on YouTube, y'all, because like I said, I go on there and I see stuff and then I get on here and talk about it. So if you want to get more information and see more stuff about what happened, please YouTube. And that's what, just type that in. Now, my shout out. I want to do a review on not only the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, but also on the Alameda Theater. So y'all know I live in Alameda, so here's my review. Judas and the Black Messiah, for those of you who don't know, the Black Messiah was the one they was calling, Fred Hampton Jr. Fred Hampton was 21 years old, and he was the chairman of the Black Panther Party in Chicago, Illinois. Judas was this FBI snitch, house Negro, race traitor, collaborator, Uncle Tom Trumpanzee. This before Trump even had Trumpanzees on his team, but he was anyway, his name was William O'Neill or Bill O'Neill. And it talks about how the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover engineered this whole thing where they did what they did to Fred Hampton. I would highly recommend the movie. Those of you who don't know, I'm a product of the 60s, and I like the movie. I do want to say something about Fred Hampton, which made him really unique. Fred Hampton, 21 years old. How many 21-year-olds end up becoming the chairman of a chapter, chairman of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party? And how many 21-year-olds would have the nerve, the audacity, the courage, whatever words you want to use, to go out and form alliances? They formed an alliance with the Young Patriots. Now, y'all don't know who Young Patriots is. In Chicago, they had a lot of white Appalachian, people had moved from the Appalachians and moved to Chicago. And the scene they show was where Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers came into one of their meetings, and they had a picture of the Confederate flag on the wall. Okay, and now y'all know how I am. I don't like the Confederate flag. And the dudes that was there, they say, hey, this is about our heritage. And one of the Black Panthers with Fred Hampton got to talking about, that flag represents, the Ku Klux Klan and how my uncle got hung and stuff like this. So they got into a lot of it. Fred Hampton broke it down to not only the Black Panthers who came with him, but also the White Patriots. There was a group called the White Patriots. That was their name. No, was it White Patriots? Yeah, white. Was it White Patriots or Young Patriots?
Young Patriots.
Young Patriots. I'm sorry, not the White Patriots. Young Patriots. Thank you. And broke it down, and they ended up forming an alliance. And then he went out and formed an alliance with the Young Lords. The Young Lords was a Puerto Rican organization in Chicago. So here he formed an alliance with young white youth from the Appalachian Mountains who had migrated, their families had migrated to Chicago and formed an alliance with them. And he formed an alliance with the Puerto Ricans in Chicago. Now, I don't know if y'all understand, but with everything going on, can you imagine how hard that must have been? But what kind of charisma and what kind of, I don't know, I'm at a lost words, of how he was able to bring these different groups together like that. And then he went out to, in the movie they were called the Crowns, but I think in real life they might have been like the Disciples and the Peace Stone Nation. If y'all know anything about Chicago, Chicago has a lot of gangs back in those days. I mean, the gangs where they wore the little gang jackets and all this other kind of stuff. And he was able to get them, if not become a part of the Black Panther Party, if not become allied with the Black Panther Party, at least get them to see how it was important for all the different groups to work together. So I think that has a lot. Anyway, highly recommend the movie. Like I said, I am a product of the 60s. I'm also a former Black Panther out here in the Bay Area, but that's a different story. Now, review the Alameda Theater. Alameda Theater, they have like so many people who are allowed to come in the theater. That's number one. Number two, when you go in, they show you a list of where you can sit and where you can't sit. So seats that are already sold out, you can't sit there. You have to sit like separate sections and all this other kind of stuff, which I thought was pretty good. You know, because you can't everybody just can't be all bunched up. So that was a good thing. Even when you went into the bathroom, the men's bathroom, I don't know about the women's bathroom, but the men's bathroom, when you go in the men's bathroom, you got all the stalls, you got the urinals, and there was one urinal available, and then they had the other urinals blocked off, and then they had another urinal available. Same thing with the stalls for the bathroom. So they had that. So they were doing all that. What else? I think they were also taking chips. Oh, the snack bar. Popcorn. I like popcorn. I like butter popcorn. But because of coronavirus, they already had all your popcorn. If you want a large bag of popcorn, they already had it packed. And you can't ask for no extra butter. I like extra butter. Like, no, we can't do that. So you don't get no extra butter. But that was about it. If any of you have had the opportunity to visit Alameda Theater, the guy that was the architect and helped build the Paramount Theater in Oakland and the big theater in San Francisco, I don't know if that's the Fox Theater or whatever. But anyway, he's also the one that did Alameda Theater. It's one of those historic type landmark theaters. It actually has 8 movie theaters. You have the main movie theater on the first floor, and then you've got like 1, 2, 3 more theaters off to the side. And you go up the escalator, and there's like 5 more theaters upstairs, or 4 more theaters upstairs. So it's actually pretty good. You got restrooms on the first floor. You got restrooms on the second floor. It's pretty good. And like I said, they are making sure that you can't sit any place you want to. You actually have to pick out your seat when you pay for your ticket. All right, so that is my shout out. And that's my movie review for Judas and the Black Messiah. It's the first time I've been to the movie in over a year. It was good. It was actually kind of strange because when I went into the movie to go see Judas and the Black Messiah, there was like one other guy sitting in the movie theater. He He was actually younger than me. He was 71. I'm 72. And then another guy came in, and then a couple came in, and then a woman came in. So there's like less than 10 of us in the movie theater, and we were all spread out. The couple came in with their child, so they were sitting together, and that's how it was. Having conversation before the movie got started, and so the guy was talking about Newsom, and he didn't like Newsom, and blamed it on Newsom about the protests. And I told him, I said, man, the governor don't have no control over people going out to protest. You know, people were protesting because they were fed up with the whole situation with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, and the list goes on and on. You know, Governor Newsom don't have nothing to do with that. Basically, we're talking about the fact that under Newsom, California is one of those states that's opening up more things, which has to be the fact that the movie theater's open, but also the fact that the death toll in California is probably one of those states that has the fewest amount of people that have died. In fact, yesterday it was 61,361. So today is 61,399. You know, I mean, every person who dies is somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, niece, nephew, uncle, auntie, grandmother, grandfather. So everyone who dies, that is important to their family and their friends and their relatives. But at the same time, we're not experiencing what some of the other states are going through because they simply refuse to follow the mask thing. I also like to ask for prayers and thoughts for India. Like India, they're like experiencing like 3,000-4,000 deaths a day. They actually are cremating, their dead. I don't know if it's a religious or cultural thing, or if it's just because, they don't have no place to bury people, or I'm not sure how that works, so I can't tell you anything. Brazil, they're a lot too. So we're still up on the top, but I believe India and Brazil is right behind us. Okay, so I'm going to give my shout out. That's my family tree right back there, y'all. Okay. Mabuhay! Amanla! Hokahe! Harambe! Ashe! Wakanda forever! Que viva! Shalom! Mahalo! Assalamu alaikum! Wa alaikum assalam! Jayu! Alright. I don't know anymore, y'all. Hope everybody have a good day. Stay masked up. Oh, I want you to know, I did wear my mask. I went to church this morning. It was raining. I went to church. Somebody told me we can't be no fair weather Christians. So I had to get up and go so I could prove that I wasn't fair weather Christian. Was out there in the rain. But I wore my mask, and we were separated with ropes and all that other kind of stuff, so that was a good thing. And I wore a mask in church, mask at the movie theater, like I said. So I've been vaccinated, got both my shots, and I intend to keep on wearing my mask. People do what they got to do, so I'm telling you what I'm doing. Everybody can do what's best for them. Everybody stay safe, stay strong. Wear a mask, get vaccinated if you choose to do that. If you choose not to, that's all right. That's on you. But I would also really seriously pray and think about the MMIW, the missing and murdered indigenous women of the United States and Canada. Go on YouTube and check it out. Look at the movie. Check out the Alameda Theater. All right, y'all. I'm up out of here. Peace.